Hurricane Ian is a catastrophic and historic storm about to make landfall along the southwest coast of Florida. Hello, I'm Mike Nasel with this 11 a.m. in the morning update on this Wednesday morning as we watch this historic hurricane look at that perfect symmetry and classic look as a very well-defined eye has developed. It absolutely has intensified and exploded this morning and is almost a Category 5 hurricane. This is a very rare event, especially for Southwest Florida. People down there who went through Charley, Irma, Wilma in the last 20 years, this one blows them all out of the water, literally. Here's the latest on Hurricane Ian now. The updated statistics, they get hourly positions and we have aircraft flying around. So I'm trying to give you the most recent data because it's a very fast-paced situation. Hurricane Ian was at 26.3, 82.5. That's about 40-45 miles west-northwest of Naples, or 50 miles south-southwest of Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda, you guys are squarely in the path. It is 155 miles an hour. Of course, if it goes up to 160, it'll become a Category 5. And on record, only 4 Category 5s have ever hit America. 1 in 35, 1 in 69, 1 in 92, and 1 in 2018. Is moving north-northeast at 9, so it has slowed down its forward motion, but because it is so strong and is expected to stay intact more as it moves across the state, we now have a hurricane warning not just in our west coast here, but off on the east coast, areas there all the way north to the Flagler-Volusia County line, the Flagler, you guys, Sebastian Inlet on the east coast under a hurricane warning now, because people, if you're inland in Florida, this is a very flat state and it's a very narrow state. This thing is going to move right across and bring hurricane force winds. Here is the radar, and look at that radar. The Eyewall getting very, very close now to Sanibel and Captiva Islands there. If you guys are in Sanibel and Captiva, hunker down now, but most importantly, get to higher ground if you can. If you did not evacuate, hopefully you did. These are some webcams live showing the water rises there on Sanibel Island, to say nothing of the threat of heavy waves crashing on top of that storm surge. Now, what we did not deal with Hurricane Charley or even Hurricane Irma is the storm surge. Look at this out of Punta Gorda and areas up north towards Tampa Bay. We have a reverse storm surge going on. So what this means is that the water is actually being pushed out back into the sea. Now that's very dangerous because if the winds switch direction, you could have that water pile right back in. And that is a sign that this hurricane has high storm surge. It's not a tsunami, but it's similar to a tsunami, the way the water can push right in. Here's a look at the 12, 15, 18 feet of surge predicted in areas there of Charlotte Harbor, Sanibel Island, Cape Coral, Fort Myers. You guys are under the gun from a very high storm surge potential, and that water is going to be the biggest killer with this thing, to say nothing of the Category 4 or 5 winds. Very destructive. Remember Mexico Beach in 2018, what happened with Hurricane Michael? That thing was 160, this is 155. But the difference between, say, Hurricane Charley in 2004 and this storm is the size. Stu Ostro from the Weather Channel, meteorologist, he actually tweeted this. Look at the eye of Hurricane Charley from 2004 inside of the eye of Hurricane Ian. They superimposed it because it shows how much larger Ian is. So Ian is not only stronger than Charley, but it's larger. And the spatial size is going to cause devastating storm surge along the coastline. Phil Klotzbach from Colorado State University had this graphic showing the most intense hurricanes ever to hit Florida at Category 4 or 5. So going back 100, 150 years, there's only been, say, a dozen or so. It's a rare event. I know you guys think, and the media makes it seem like every year it's getting worse. Look at the gap we had between 1960 and 1992. It's all up in the air. We had 5 or 6 of them hit in the 40s, and now Hurricane Michael 2018, Hurricane Ian 2022. Very, very disastrous winds and storm surge with this thing. We're going to be back with continuing coverage on our YouTube page. I'm going to get these updates out as fast as I can, and stay tuned. Again, Look at the water here in Naples. You don't see surf like this in Naples. Trust me, some of my favorite little fishing that I've ever done is down in that area, and the water is supposed to be low, shallow, and beautiful, calm. It is not like that today. And Fort Myers, we saw people in the water, kids in the water. Do not go out in the surf. This is not a California swell. This is a Category 4 hurricane, borderline Category 5, that's going to cause disastrous problems. We're going to have power outages, we're going to have trees down, we're going to have wind damage. If you are in a mobile home and you're still far enough away to get to shelter, I'm sure shelters are open. Just search, find the closest shelter and the highest point of land, because Hurricane Ian is coming for you. I'm Mike Nasel with continuing coverage of this emergency hurricane event on the southwest coast of Florida. I'll be back with continuing updates on Hurricane Ian, a historic Atlantic hurricane.